Well, look, in your last election, you had two traumatized candidates. Not one, two. The one I already talked about, with the narcissism, the grandiosity, the sense of inferiority that is to saying how great he is all the time, and his ADHD. Absolute classic cases. And I mentioned this trauma. Your other candidate had pneumonia, and she didn't tell anybody. She nearly collapsed. In fact, she was collapsing and had to be caught up by her Secret Service people and supported. And that was thought to be an act of bravery and self-sacrifice. No. It was the act of a desperately driven person. How do we know? Because at the Democratic Convention, when she was nominated, there was a film, a video played of her life, narrated by Morgan Freeman, the actor. Anybody hear that one? Saw it? Well, a little vignette that's absolutely telling and essential to understand that personality. 4-year-old Hillary, and this story comes from her, runs into her home where she's frightened and upset because neighborhood kids are threatening and bullying her. 4 years old. And her mom says, "There are no room for cowards in this house. Now you get out there and figure out what to do about those kids." And this is presented as a wonderful example of character building. And this is watched by a whole nation. I've seen nobody comment on it. Nobody commented on this. What is the actual message to the 4-year-old? There's no room for your vulnerability in this house. You're on your own. You got a problem, suck it up. Develop this persona behind you, which you hide your vulnerability. So we had two traumatized candidates. What kind of a society throws up two traumatized candidates to vie for the absolute leadership of that society? A society in which trauma is as common as apple pie, in which people are totally disconnected from their gut feelings. Like, again, I'm not talking about politics, particularly. I'm not talking about policies. I'm not telling you who you should vote for. I'm talking about the human dynamics here. Donald Trump says the other day that I won the popular vote. It's only that millions of illegal immigrants voted illicitly, and that's why it didn't show up in the actual vote count. Everybody accused him of lying. He was not lying. He believes it. It's too stupid a lie to tell if you know it's not to be true. He's not that stupid. He actually believes it. Why? Because he's so hurt that he cannot abide the possibility that people don't like him. If you're in touch with your gut feelings, you will know that there's something not right here. But the essence of trauma is disconnection from ourselves, including from our gut feelings. I'll be saying more about that this afternoon. So what you're talking about is a society in which racism and you know, the articles, you know, the New York Times, last 3 days, black women with cervical cancer, much higher chance of dying from it. Black men much more likely to have high blood pressure in this society. And the politics and the emotional unintelligence of people is all a reflection of trauma. And I don't have an answer for you. The only thing I can tell you is to ask you, when you ask your question, how do you feel about what you said?
I mean,
Mike, hold the mic.
I feel a lot of things. I think I feel overwhelmed. I think I feel...
Okay, overwhelmed. Overwhelmed by a problem that's too big for you, is that it?
Overwhelmed by a... Yeah, kind of.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If you tap into that sense of overwhelm internally, if you drop the particular subject on which it's crystallizing right now, but just tap into the sense of overwhelm, how new is that to you?
Not very.
How far does it go back?
I don't know that I have a memory that doesn't include and incorporate
Exactly.
that.
Exactly. In other words, you're still living out of a childhood dynamic. Okay, and from that position, you ain't going to do anything about this society.